Salut, bienvenue pas encore dans cette chaîne, ça c'est Fleur Or. Nous sommes toujours dans l'étude de la phonétique. La fois passée, la semaine dernière, dans notre cours, on a parlé des syllabes. On a vu de quoi s'agit-il de syllabes, les formes de syllabes, même en même temps, comment identifier les syllabes par les voyelles prononcées. So we have seen all that has to do with syllables. Right now, as we come to the French language structure, we are going to look at what we call continuity in French. And when we talk about continuity, there are two key things you don't want to joke with. And in this study, we are going to be looking at both of them. Now, the first thing on continuity is called l'enchaînement. The second aspect of continuity is called liaison. So let's look at l'enchaînement. Now, in enchaînement, there are two types of enchaînement. We have what we call enchaînement vocalique et enchaînement consonatique. We are going to start with the very first one, enchaînement vocalique, and then let's see what that is all about. So here we are now. We have this. L'enchaînement here is called l'enchaînement vocalique. Now, that means we are dealing with vowels. To have what we call enchaînement vocalique, you're going to have a vowel ending a word in French, and at the same time, you have another vowel beginning another word in French. So this vowel that ends a word that is pronounced is linked to the other vowel. So we have enchaînement vocalique. Let's not speak too much grammar about that. Look at the explanation here. Si un mot finit par une voyelle prononcée et que le mot suivant commence par une voyelle, on tend à passer d'une voyelle à l'autre sans interruption dans la voix. C'est l'enchaînement vocalique. So when you are leaving one vowel that is pronounced or another without interrupting your speech, without slowing down, it's called l'enchaînement vocalique. Look, for example, the sentence, you go là, you go là. So we have O, E pronounced together. It's called l'enchaînement vocalique. So that is the basic thing you need to know about that. As we look at this enchaînement vocalique further, without spending too much time once again, enchaînement vocalique can be with two different vowels pronounced like O and E for you go là. At other times, it could also be for the same vowels pronounced. For example, look at this statement. You have you go aura 8 en bientôt. O, you go is O. We have aura, the same O. So the same vowel, but it's also linked. So you can have enchaînement in that manner. Number three about enchaînement is the fact that you can have as many enchaînements vocaliques as possible in a word. Look at this example now. We have Emma a eu une idée brillante. We have a eu une. Four different vowels, two the same vowel, there are three different types of vowels there. Emma a une idée. Emma a eu une idée. Emma a eu une idée. Emma a eu une idée. So there is a link. You can link them together. So you can also have l'enchaînement generally at the middle of a word when the last consonant is not pronounced in French, and then the enchaînement vocalique can also take place in that area, at that particular situation. Take, for example, these words now. You have un vent violent à. The word there is on, E-N, violent, on. This T is silent, there's no liaison, so you have the link on à. Un vent violent a abîmé un bâtiment en construction. So there is liaison vocalique in that particular scenario. So when the liaison is not taking place, we have l'enchaînement vocalique come to play. So having looked at that, let's look at some few examples now. Look at these sentences. You have, for example, pourquoi est-ce regardez, pourquoi est-ce que le ciel est bleu? Le ciel est bleu. Pourquoi est-ce que la nuit est noire? So these are examples. We have another one again. J'ai lu un manga. J'ai entendu. So tu es où? Look at it. So that is for enchaînement vocalique. So having seen enchaînement vocalique, I want to believe you have mastered that. Let's look at the next enchaînement. It's called enchaînement consonatique. Now, it's the opposite of enchaînement vocalique, and so we want to look at it as well. It's important. These are part of the continuity. So, what is l'enchaînement vocalique? We have seen l'enchaînement vocalique. Now, let's go to enchaînement consonatique. Enchaînement consonatique. So you have this there, enchaînement consonatique, as the name implies. We're dealing with consonants. We have in French generally, and according to the writer, it says, si dans la prononciation, in this particular statement in the box there, si dans la prononciation, généralement, un mot finit par une consonne et que le mot suivant par une voyelle, on a formé une même syllabe avec ces deux sons. That is, a word ends in a consonant. And then the next one begins with a vowel. We tend to often want to link that last consonant to the next vowel. We call it l'enchaînement consonatique. Example, le mieux est mouillé. You see, in this word mieux, it is the mu that is pronounced. But this last consonant is now linked to this next one, le mur, you see that le mur est mouillé, la terre. So this arrow that is pronounced is linked to the next word. La terre est sèche. We have il sert un café. Il sert un café. The T is not pronounced here. Il sert un café. So the last pronounced consonant is linked to the other word that begins with the vowel. You have l'enchaînement consonatique. Whereas for enchaînement vocalique, the last vowel pronounced here linked to the next vowel, you have l'enchaînement vocalique. That's just a simple difference between them. There are so many ways. Now, si un mot se termine par deux consonnes prononcées, l'enchaînement se fait avec la deuxième des consonnes. Now, if you have a situation where you have two consonants that end the word, we use the last consonant. For example, you have this one, j'accepte. J'accepte immédiatement. J'accepte immédiatement. So these are actually very important segments. You want to look at them more as you continue. They're very, very important. So having established that, the next thing you want to take note of is the fact that il n'y a pas de limits like the vowel. There's no limit as well. You can have as many as possible. Take, for example, you have this year. Let's say we have the sentence, je entre avec un ami. So you see, the je entre, there's a link here, there's a link here, there's a link here, there's a link here. So links all about. We call it l'enchaînement conjonctif in that regard. Now, the next one is l'enchaînement conjonctif se font à l'intérieur et entre groupes rythmiques. It's always within. J'achète une. Look at this example now. We have j'achète une. J'achète une autre imprimante aujourd'hui. So you see the T add to this aujourd'hui. The T add to this imprimant. We have the T add to this une. So it can be as many as possible, but it's at the interior of the word. So you want to take note of them, is important. Now, l'enchaînement consonatique is different from liaison. We're going to deal with that very soon. For l'enchaînement consonatique, the consonant is already pronounced, whereas for liaison, it is not pronounced. Now, with that said, we are going to deal with liaison very briefly now, so that we can actually establish the difference better. So we talk about liaison and l'enchaînement. What is the difference? Liaison. What is the difference between liaison and l'enchaînement? So let's look at liaison together now as we deal with the difference, which I've summarized already, but see more examples as we go ahead in this particular study. Now, you have en français oral, on a tendance à attacher les mots les uns aux autres. That's what we know already. We always want to link one word to the other, of course. But for liaison, certaines consonnes finales de mots muettes en général, take note of this word muette en général, peuvent dans certains cas être prononcées avec la voyelle initiale du mot qui suit. C'est la liaison. That is a silent consonant that is not pronounced linked to a vowel that is pronounced in the word following it, we have liaison. Whereas for l'enchaînement, it is a pronounced consonant linked to a vowel that is pronounced here, or a pronounced vowel for enchaînement vocalique linked to another pronounced vowel beginning the next word. So ce sont des différences. Look at the example of liaison. Ils arrivent. Ils arrivent. This S is not pronounced on a normal day, but because of the A there in arrive, it is not pronounced. It now becomes Z. So that's the difference between enchaînement and liaison. Now, having established the difference between these two, avec la différence qui existe entre l'enchaînement et la liaison, maintenant, on va parler de liaison jusqu'à un certain niveau. We have different types of liaison. Yeah. A consonant not pronounced is being pronounced because of the vowel that follows it. So we have basically three types of liaison. Number one is called liaison obligatoire. That is, you must do this linkage. It makes the French beautiful and interesting, so you must master it. Now, for example, à l'intérieur des mots composés de groupes figés, there are some words that are fixed separation. We have États-Unis, we call it les États-Unis. You see this S here is linked to this E. This S again is linked to this U. We have it les États-Unis. Now we have expression like de plus en plus. This S here is linked to this EN. So we have Z, le plus en plus. Now, in the middle of a word as well, à l'intérieur des mots aussi, on peut avoir des liaisons avec des groupes nominaux. Take, for example, we have des idées. Because idée begins with an I, S here becomes Z. We have des idées. We have chez, we have O. It becomes chez eux. We have chez, we have un. It becomes chez un, we have un, we have excellent. Chez un excellent copain. So liaison exists with nominal groups and like that. We have adjective and adverbs in monosyllabic ways. We have 13. We have S here. The S becomes Z because this un, très important. You have très important there. Then you have pronouns that are inverted with the verb. Now let's do with the verb first. Number 4 here is verbs, verbal group. We have quand-il. You see it? This D here becomes T because of this I here. Quand-il, the S here becomes Z because of this E here. Quand ils ont n'étaient d'accord. The N is also pronounced because of this other E. Quand ils ont été d'accord. We have ont, le pronom inversé et le verbe. Prends-y. The S here is not pronounced because of this EN. Prends-y. Prends-en rather. Then we have vas-y. S pronounced because of this Y. We have quand-il, the T here is not supposed to pronounce, but it's not pronounced. Quand-il fait. So these are called liaison obligatoire. So you see these words in the middle of compound word, fixed expressions, nominal groups, adjectival group, monosyllabic words, verbal group, as well as the pronouns. We are dealing with the inverted position of pronouns. We are asking questions most of the time. So take note of them. They will they will improve your French speaking. Then we have what we call liaison interdite or liaison impossible. In this case, you don't put liaison. That's the meaning. You don't put liaison. But most people try to, in Nigerian palace, for example, they say ovasabi. So they try to do more, so they can't put liaison there. That would be wrong. Look at the examples we have in front of us now in the screen. You have la liaison est généralement impossible entre un mot accentué et un mot suivant. Remember, I done with accentuation in a previous video. So when you're dealing with that, the next thing to note, we have mot accentué. Le ton est beau. L'un ou l'autre, you cannot have liaison there. Luca et Sabrina. Now, in the middle of a word with accentuated word, un dossier, the dossier is already accentuated. At the stress, incomplet. Je bois un peu de. You cannot have liaison in this regard. Now we are using the words like a. Words like a, selon, and sinon. There is no liaison in that regard. For example, mon frère est un ami. You cannot say mon frère est une amie. No, it's mon frère est une amie. Selon un spécialiste. You cannot say selon un spécialiste. No, selon un spécialiste. Now, for polysyllabic adverbs and interrogatives, you can have liaison there as well. Take, for example, vraiment intéressant. You cannot say vraiment intéressant. No. Quand irez-vous à Paris? You cannot say quand irez-vous à Paris? No. Quand irez-vous à Paris? Now, les mots commencent par H aspiré. We have H aspiré in French. In our grammar section, you can look at that. We are dealing with nouns. A lot of things discussed already in this channel. So, for example, we have les ha. You cannot say lézard. We have un héros. We have un héros. You cannot say un héros. No. We have un eau. We cannot say un eau. It doesn't work that way. So these are called liaison interdit. Now the third type of liaison is called liaison facultative. For those ones, if they don't fall within the range of this liaison interdit of words that are accentuated, words like selon, a, sinon, adverbs, and then monosyllabic words. We have words beginning with H aspira. Every other one, they are referred to as liaison facultative. So this is going to be the end of this brief lecture and this brief teaching on continuity. So we have for continuity as either l'enchaînement vocalique, l'enchaînement consonatique, and liaison. Enchaînement vocalique is the fact that there is a pronounced vowel here linked to the next vowel that is pronounced. We have l'enchaînement vocalique. Now for consonatique, there is a pronounced consonant here linked to another vowel pronounced in the next word. We have enchaînement what? Consonatique. But for liaison, this consonant is not pronounced. It's silent consonant in the word. But because of the vowel that begins the next word, it is now pronounced. Call it liaison. And there are three types of liaison. Liaison obligatoire, liaison facultative, liaison interdite, which we have seen so far. So it has been wonderful having you for this particular video, and I trust you now understand what we call continuity en français au niveau de liaison et l'enchaînement, and I wish you the very best. Keep on studying, keep on preparing, because the more you do it, the more you are going to master it. However, before I let you off the hook on this video, I want us to see some few examples together on liaison. We have, for example, here, I have son ordinateur, son ordinateur, d'accord? Son ordinateur. We have son premier ordinateur, d'accord? Son premier ordinateur. You see this liaison there. We have son, we have ancien, we have ordinateur, d'accord? Son ancien ordinateur, double liaison. We have son plus ancien ordinateur. We have son plus ancien ordinateur. You see it, we have on, we have accept, comme on accepte. We have il, we have accept, ils acceptent. We have il, on, and accept, comme ils on accept. Number 7 there. We have il, we have on bien, we have accept. We have ils on non bien accept. So this is how liaison works, and trust me, the more you practice it as a beginner, you are going to get mastery of it, and the French becomes very musical and poetic. You also understand when the French people are speaking. So at this junction, we're going to be stopping a video on continuity in French, and I have seen these three types of continuity: enchaînement vocalique, enchaînement consonatique, and then liaison. So do have a wonderful time practicing, and I will see you in the next video. For now, bye-bye. Flow Up team loves you. Subscribe, share with your friends studying French. It's going to be wonderful to have you on the channel. See you in the next video.